We're gonna still talk with Mariah. It's cold as hell over here. I'm surprised Gregor isn't freezing to death at night. How does he do it? You explain to Mariah how the size of a person and fat contents contributes to their temperature. Okay. Wish I was as big as Gregor. But to be honest, I'm happy with brains over brawn. Do you know what he wanted to do for a career? Mariah does her best Gregor impression. Cut trees and sleep under the stars. How boring is that? Depends on the person, but pretty boring. You're so funny. Thanks for coming in and chatting with me. Mariah blushes a little. You make it easier to pass the time. Thank you. You're pretty sure Mariah will remember that. You thank Mariah and get the others. You call everyone together. They all look nervous. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife. Everyone is staring at you. They're expecting that last piece of bread for dinner. You bring it out. Everyone cannot take their eyes off of it. You instruct everyone to take a pinch. And slowly, all 5 of you tear it apart like a wishbone. Everyone studies their piece of bread carefully, wondering how long it will last. Corinne is the first to eat hers, chewing each bite 100 times before swallowing. And Annalise chews it cautiously, slowly swallowing as he looks at the others. Mariah nibbles on it silently, eyes wide, moving from person to person. And Gregor. Gregor just pops it in his mouth like a cherry. He inhaled it. The group thanks you awkwardly. It's not much, but you've run out of options. You wish everyone good night and get ready for bed. You go to bed starving. Good morning. Morning. Let me check if the rain has stopped. I think I can hear it, and it has not. It's still flooding. What are we going to do? Humans can live about 2 to 3 weeks without food. Water isn't a concern. Rainfall should end in a day or 2, right? Actually, precipitation can occur more than 215 days a year here. But do you really think it'll rain that long? Natalie, it's been days already. What makes you think it'll stop? Relax, everyone. Let's see how long we can ride this out. Fingers crossed it's done by tomorrow. Panic is slowly creeping in. Everyone's looking around. Oh, everyone's looking scared. But you need to survive. Corinne and Gregor begin to discuss the next options. Do you want to speak with Mariah in the kitchen? Or Natalie in the living room? What did we do wrong? The stars are a little, like, stretched. Interesting. Is that supposed to be the one I choose? Hold on. We're gonna save here. And then we're gonna do the one at the top. That might get us eaten or something. Could you have rationed the supplies better? You crunch the numbers one more time. You could have reduced the amount of vegetables used in the stew. But it was their first day. You had to impress them. Was there anything you could have done differently? Mariah, Natalie, Gregor, Corinne. Wonder if they're upset with you. Gregor calls the group over for a meeting. I don't think any of us can take this much longer. Gregor's voice starts to crack. I don't want to ask this, but it's time. One of us needs to go outside and search for food. Everyone is silent. I'll go. Mariah. I used to swim all the time near my house. I probably have the best chance of swimming through the flood. No. Let me go instead. You won't get very far if anything happened to your glasses, and Natalie. You're blind as a mole rat, remember? That's true, but... Little guy. Let me go. Gregor, Sounds good to me. Kareen. His arms are the longest. He's probably the best at climbing. No, that wouldn't be right. Gregor, let me go instead. I get that none of these options are good ones, but we need to find food or help. Gregor grabs a branch from the wood pile. He cuts into different measurements. Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We each pick one. And the shortest will go outside to search for food. Not worried about drawing? You saw Gregor cut the branch lengths. You pick up the biggest. You watch the others intently. Will it be Gregor? Natalie? Kareen? Will it be Mariah? Looks like I put the shortest. Mariah? Mariah, it's okay. I watched a Natalie forage earlier, so I'll know what to look out for. Is it just me or in, like, these scenes, does the art style kind of change? Just swim until you find higher ground, then scout the area. Maybe we will find fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Kareen, Natalie, Gregor, I'll keep us alive. I promise. She promised. Everyone watches as Mariah leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening. Goodbye. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is, and then silence. Mariah has left the cabin. Kareen, I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up waiting and waiting. The sun is completely set. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize, the other is the cabin guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel, and then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong, you can't get her into the oven. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking in the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders, and both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair cause you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods. One of them looks behind her, eyes widening when she sees you. She's terrified. You've never been this angry in your entire life. You're gaining on them. They can't run forever. As you trample through a field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch the glint of it in the sun, golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall downward, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake up in a cold sweat. Yeah, I think this is Baba Yaga. I do remember something about a piece of fabric in that story. I could be wrong, though. I haven't read The Tale of Baba Yaga since I was, like, a kid. Like, 10? 8? 9? Something like that. Good morning. Do you think she made it to higher ground? I believe in Mariah. Me too. She'll be fine. Right, little guy? So what do we do now? Just wait? Hurry in. How long? It's been almost a day since she left. Natalie and Gregor look nervous. Someone needs to go look for her. We need to wait, Korean. Wait for what? The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now. So it could be days before she gets back. What are we supposed to eat? Mice? Korean. I'm sure Natalie will agree, but we'll discuss next options when we get to it. I never should have eaten that much. Korean's hands are involuntarily shaking. Gregor and Natalie just nod in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. You sure Mariah will make it back? She promised. Everyone retreats to a corner. What do you want to do today? I mean, we might as well go to the kitchen, right? Those the chompettes? Yeah, we'll go to the kitchen. Hey, the kitchen definitely doesn't feel the same without Mariah. Her laugh, her smile. I never got to tell her how I felt about her. She'll be back, right? Yeah. I wish we had rationed better. You decide to distract Natalie with an old story. There was once a villager who had to stock up supplies for the winter. He filled his house with a cow, a sack of grains from the field, and 92 buckets of water, mostly for the cow. He ran out of room quickly. One day, the villager grew sick. He knew he needed the life-giving milk from the cow to survive the winter. But when he attempted to milk the cow, his grip was too weak to grasp her udders. In desperation, he began to boil the grains. The cow cried out for food, but the villager could only afford to feed himself. Each night, the cries of the cow kept him awake. Until one day, he finally ran out of food. The villager crawled into bed for the last time, sobbing as the snow deepened inside. The cow's sad eyes stared back at him. He wanted to comfort the cow, but the buckets blocked his path. He was too weak, too sick. The final noise he heard was the cow still crying out for food. One haunting note to end his life. Yeah, also, why are we telling that story? It seems kind of not helpful. And Natalie looks horrified with your story. Yeah, nah, I would be too, especially in the situation that we're currently in. Unless the moral that we're trying to impart here is that it's better to let go of what you love, because at least they would have a chance out in the wild than being stuck inside, right? I feel like that's kind of what we're trying to go for. The chompettes can wait. You leave Natalie to his thoughts. I can't stop thinking about that vegetable stew. I'd be fine with the bread and jam. I'd be fine with just the strawberries. Nobody else laughs. I would kill for some vegetables right about now. Okay, so it's like the moral quandary of we could let them know about the chompettes here. Is that what this is supposed to be about? Except they're not. I don't even know if they're real or not, to be honest. You would too. I'm going to try to get some sleep. Good night. Night. You fall asleep quickly, but you only dream about desecrating a corpse. You wake in a cold sweat in a completely different room. So yeah, I guess we're like reincarnated from Baba Yaga or something. That's what I'm gonna go with for now, because that Those details matched up with Baba Yaga's story, I think. At least I think so. Good morning. Corinne's looking worse. Will you cook for the group today? We take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook in the oven. Wait. Where did that meat come from? Who... Okay, we're gonna need to do, like, a roll call to find out who, yeah. You cooked meat. Okay, that's really tiny. Okay. Alright. Where did you get that? You ignore Corinne's question. What's that smell? Gregor finally gets off the couch. Where did you... The three are looking at you, salivating. You take the charred meat out of the oven, cutting it into small cutlets. They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. Wait, it's not Mariah, is it? Yeah, where did this come from? You take a piece and immediately devour it. Do you have any more of this? You explain how the meat is stored securely, hidden, so you can ration better this time. I understand. Thank you. Oh, Natalie runs to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes. His taste is... Gregor wanders off. And Natalie returns, looking choked up. I was too weak. Left you some. Don't fight this, Natalie. And Natalie takes a piece from the plate, turning his back to the group as he eats it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. Going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay? Corinne leaves you with the men. Who do you want to talk to? Well, we haven't actually gone to the bathroom yet, so you knock on the door first. And Natalie? You slowly open it. Thanks for checking in on me. You ask if he still feels sick. Not anymore. Please don't tell me where the meat came from. The less known, the better. Thank you. You're sure Natalie will remember that. You leave Natalie and go tidy up some parts of the kitchen. Hours pass. The meal gave everyone the perseverance to keep going. Okay, but like, hold on. I'm gonna save real fast. So, was that Mariah? Perhaps? Was it like a mouse? Or, I don't know. That looked too big to be from a mouse, didn't it? I don't know. Wait a second. Hold on. Did he still have his little squirrel friend on his shoulder? No, that still was like way too little. That creature was way too small for that cut of meat. Though I guess I'm assuming that the meat was a big cutlet and not small. But hours passed, the meal gave over, blah, blah, blah. They can never. They're satiated now. What? We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? You calmly explain that you want to ration the meat better this time. No dinner. Fine. I understand. I can wait. No arguments? Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. You fall asleep instantly. You have a strange dream. You're having dinner with a blacksmith, but he's not touching his food. The only light in the room comes from the oven. He clears his throat, stroking his beard. I can forge anything, he says. Your eye has been giving you issues lately, so you reply, "Forge me a new eye, then." You laugh, but then the ropes come out. He ties you to your chair with a long rope to prevent you from moving. You rip the rope apart without even trying, so the blacksmith uses a thicker one. No turning back now. The blacksmith takes a hot poker out of the coals. It makes his eyes glow as he scowls at you. He slowly brings back the poker, aiming carefully for your eye, before punching it through your skull with a sickening crunch. The force of the blow throws you backwards a few feet. You're unable to break the ropes. The blacksmith stands over you, spitting on your body as he raises the poker again. You wake in a cold sweat. Day 9. How many days does this go? You wake up to see Gregor looking out the window. He turns to you, not smiling. Take a look out the window. Do you notice anything? Dad's still writing? Oh. The floodwaters have receded a bit, but everyone is still bound to the cabin. What did that voice say? It sounded like cabbage, right? It sounded like Russian, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. The trail used to be completely visible. It's gone now. Good morning, big guy. Where's Mariah? This might sound a little crazy, but every night around 2 a.m. I can hear her outside. She makes this awful gurgling noise, like she's trying to get water out of her lungs. Have you heard her, Gregor? Sometimes when the rain gets faint, I think I can hear her whispering. I haven't heard anything like that. When she's whispering, it's like she's trying to tell you something, right? Yes. What the? What? Oh. Okay. Wait, hold on. We're gonna say it again. What? I sometimes hear her crying through the radio, but that's just a broadcast. Right? Okay. So next we're gonna see it for him. I'm guessing we're gonna see it through the glasses and it'll be extra creepy. Oh boy. I think we should have another piece of meat for breakfast. Oh my. These faces just... What the heck, man? Okay. Well, this is... It's what she would have wanted. What's gone into you, Natalie? Natalie looks at you begging. Bring us another slab. What are these faces, though? It's like someone took the smudge tool and just kind of like smudge. Like, overlaid like an actual picture and then just like smudged it around. They're quite interesting. Please. He clearly doesn't have the stomach for it. I can't get the taste out of my mouth. Help me. And Natalie? Gregor looks hurt by Natalie's words. I think he is right. Please bring us some more of that meat. You grab some of the meat from your secret hiding place. You cut it into squares, adding it to some boiling cauldron water. Cauldron? Cauldron? Excuse you. It will taste bland without any seasoning, but you need to serve it quickly. It smells good. What's taking so long? Boil it faster. It looks almost done. Patience. It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Yeah, okay, it's gotta be Mariah. Yeah, it's gotta be Mariah. Gregor drinks the broth first before swallowing the chunks whole. And Natalie creates ripples in the broth with his finger. He isn't eating. I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. Mariah. And Natalie begins to weep. You look over at Corinne. You didn't notice her eating. There's just an empty bowl now. Corinne is staring right at you. How much more meat is left? You explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. How could you be so careless again? You remember Corinne's knife. You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again? The storm isn't ending. You clear your throat. And Natalie? Yes? I think tomorrow you should look for Mariah. Yeah, okay. So this is what's going on here. I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants. Please, Natalie. You can swim back after looking. Gregor is right, Natalie. Maybe you'll find Mariah out there. Okay. You're right, Mariah's still out there. He still hasn't accepted what happened yet. She doesn't need anyone's help. But we need your help, Natalie. That's right, Natalie. Please help us. Let me sleep on it. Okay? No problem, little guy. Everyone shuffles off to their rooms, reading books and knitting to pass the time. Oh yeah, I thought I saw knitting in the background in the living room. You go to bed ravenous. Right. Okay, that had to be Russian, because I could not understand any of that. Something is approaching. Yeah, see the knitting is back there. Don't be a crybaby, it's just me. Okay there, Onion. Okay. Onion! Not going to be very sweet today. I'm worried about Natalie. She's going to cave to peer pressure. Can you stop him from leaving the cabin? You don't answer, Onion. Please? Don't you trust my advice? You shake your head. Yeah, we really don't. You're a talking vegetable that might be in my head. I don't think there's much to trust. Got a fun factoid for you. Did you know that leaving out an unpeeled onion in your room absorbs bacteria? It will help prevent colds and ward off viruses. Onion! That was a lie. Yeah, no, I knew. I knew that was a lie. You would just wind up having a smelly room. People actually believed that in the 1500s. How embarrassing! Who would believe that? There even was a doctor in 1919 who tricked people into thinking it was true. Anyways, you know what smells worse than a raw onion left in a room? You! It's been a while since your last bath, right? You can't remember. Couldn't smell you before I even came into the room. Onion! Yikes. So, can you stop Natalie from leaving? I know he has cabin fever, but this is ridiculous. And Natalie can make his own decisions. Onion! Please, we don't need another one stalking the hallways. Tapping on the windows. Crying through the radio. You have the sudden urge to scream. Why do you think I've been using the mouse holes to get around? Oh, okay. I see. So you guys are the mice. Which might mean that you are actually just mice, and I'm imagining you as something other than mice, but, you know. Also, is that like a little bit of the onion color spilling out of the line art there? Huh, interesting. Not a big deal, but something I noticed because I do the same thing. Onion! Scared to death that I'll run into her. Huh. Don't make me tattle to Cabbage about you. She'd be as mean as Potato if you get on her bad side. Was Potato mean? As far as I could see, Potato was kidnapped, so... Onion. Just kidding, she's great. Anyways, when the time comes, just tell Natalie you care about him and don't want him to leave. Even if it's only for me. Okay? You can trust me. Oh my god, can I trust you now? Now if you excuse me, I need to work on some new ice skates. What? They're for the frying pan tomorrow. Nothing beats sliding around on butter. Onion! Later. Okay. Do we trust Onion or do we not trust Onion? You completely forget the conversation with Onion. You fall asleep again. Still ravenous.